Hello people of the universe, it's me Elisa, and to say it's been a long time since I filmed a video is a huge understatement. It's so weird for me to just sit down and be filming again because I, for a long time, didn't think that I would. I enjoyed making videos and expressing this creative side of myself, but a lot has changed in the past couple of years, and it's hard for me to imagine who I was when I had started my channel versus who I am now. When I had sat down to film my last video, and I think that was my Warby Parker review. I think that was my last video. And at that time, I was living with two of my friends. Since then, I moved back home and I actually moved to a new town. So I moved a couple of times and I left a job that I loved with people that I care about a lot. That was a huge adjustment onto itself because I went from a town that I grew up in, from a town that I knew fairly well and was comfortable living in. Yes, it wasn't the greatest and it was quite small. Not as small as some small towns, but it was still small. I went from that to a town that I'm very unfamiliar with. Which I can still say after 7 months, I have to use GPS to find things downtown, which is very unfortunate. I'm learning, but since COVID hit and I haven't been working, it is very difficult for me to get out and about. And honestly, I really don't want to because the current state of the world isn't the best. Driving around town isn't something on my to-do list. It's been really difficult to adjust to a completely different environment and to let go of things that I had worked at my previous job for almost 5 years. That was my first ever job and I had gotten very comfortable. So to completely uproot what I had known to something that's so unfamiliar at a time where there's so many unknowns out there, it's kind of scary and it's frustrating because I would love to go out and do things, but obviously with everything going on, that is something that can't be accomplished. Not only was I going through that, but I also had a falling out with a couple of my friends. We have since worked through it and we ended on good terms. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna go into detail because I respect them and I care about them. And I'm not going to be airing our dirty laundry just because I don't think it's right to talk about something when people aren't there to say their side of the story. So I'm not going to get into details. We still have a decent relationship and that's all I'm going to say on that. But I had finally got adjusted to living in this new city and then I had that going on and we had finally worked through things and ended on good terms. Then I had a severe loss in my family. It was something that was completely unexpected. There was no way that I could have thought something like this would have happened. And it's so unfortunate because I'm 22 years old. The people in my family are fairly young. To think that I've gone my life and I haven't had very significant losses. It was something that I never expected to be experiencing while I was so young. Everyone experiences loss at some point in their life, but you don't imagine going through it so soon. And so for me to experience it while I'm still very young was a complete shock to my system, and it's still fairly recent. It's only been a little under 4 months. I'm still grieving. I'm still processing my loss, and for a long time I felt very numb, and I think it was to protect myself because this is one of the most traumatic and difficult experiences of my life. It changed a lot of aspects of what I thought and my perception on things and my opinion on certain things as well. And so to have to make all these sudden changes and then all of a sudden, oh, I go through a significant family loss is beyond belief. And I can't believe that all of this has happened in such a short amount of time, and then to have to deal with everything going on with COVID as well. It's been a difficult ride, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it because so much of my life I think I've suppressed my voice and I've diminished the difficult times in my life and downplayed them and not allowed myself to realize how significant certain events have been in my life. And I don't want to go back to diminishing my experiences and to downplaying the emotions that I feel, because I have been on a journey with my mental health, and I feel like I would be doing myself a disservice if I started going back to that. And I'm not that person anymore, and that's okay. I mean, sometimes I look back and I'm like, wow. But then also I realize I am more outspoken. I am more conscientious of what I need as a person. And I think those are very significant steps, because I've always been a people pleaser. I've always put other people before myself, even if it meant what I needed and what I wanted, it wasn't even a priority. And I would let my well-being fall to the wayside. And I don't want to do that anymore. If I'm going to be there for other people, I need to be there for myself. And that's one of the first steps that I started my journey of acceptance and self-love. That was a very significant step, and I'm not going to go back to just letting everything fall to the wayside. So there is that. But I have missed expressing this creative side of myself. This is something that I feel allows me to be expressive and allows me to do something positive. So I would really love to get back into making videos. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. I know this video has kind of been all over the place, but I have some ideas. I'm actually gonna go film something after this shortly. I have to kind of clear out space on my camera, and so hopefully you'll stick around for the journey. I don't know exactly where we're going from here, but I know when I started this channel, I had the full intention of doing advice videos and talking about lessons I've learned in life. And I would definitely like to go more into that direction. I also want to do some fun creative content, probably some video gaming as well, because I have done that a little bit in the past, but I would like to do more of that going forward, and just kind of a mishmash of all the stuff that's in here. But yeah, so feel free to stick around for the journey, because I think it's gonna be an interesting ride. And I'm very curious to where we are going from here. Hopefully you liked this video and it wasn't too all over the place. Yeah, feel free to stick around, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. We are heroes tonight.